Hey, it's Tuesday, February 7th. This is a pre-open SPY report, about 45 minutes to go before the open. And we still remain at a kind of an interesting inflection point at the market with clear opportunities if they develop and clear levels to kind of monitor depending where price action leads us. Again, we can't predict for sure what's going to happen, but knowing what to expect, if we can get price action, then confirming that either up or down, then that gives you kind of the confidence to kind of take certain types of trades. So anyway, in the SPY today, we've been going up for a while. Everyone knows that here since January. Obviously, a little exhaustion risk up here. And this pause is very normal and natural. As a matter of fact, if you're looking to stay to the long side, you actually want to see this type of price action. So now we are in a situation where after trying to broaden to the downside on this 2 days ago, we haven't really reached our target. We reached a gap. So any kind of move that kind of gets a 2 up price action into today will be confirmation to continue on the long side and have these targets and see if the weekly chart after a green breakout attempt last week kind of just holds a little bit. That's where you expect a little pause. You took out some key areas here. Anytime you take out liquidity, to me, I see that as a kind of a pause area. Are you going to continue strong to the next liquidity area, or are you going to fail here and head lower? So anyway, in terms of today, though, we are pre-market range, you can see is skewing a little bit to the downside, but it's at the halfway point at the moment. It's only at the halfway point of this little bar from yesterday. So it's very possible we get a strong green, start out of the gates here. And then if we get follow through, you can look here. Just look at these equal highs. You just see that liquidity up there that would be taken out. That also would then trigger that probably close to the 2 up day with targets up above. So any strong opening that holds this area or just fails to take, or just fails a little bit to the downside, then starts green, you could try and have this as a target, the pre-market range, which would trigger the daily range up. And like anything else, it's possible we continue lower. And that kind of happened yesterday a little bit, just at least for the first hour of trading. So, you don't know for sure. And what's happening again in the big picture is we did reach a kind of an internal liquidity area, meaning that, you can see here, if I draw this out of the big picture, there's a major higher highs and lower low. Well, this one, I don't know if I can get going on. So, if things want to continue up, we can be broadening out above these highs eventually. But for now, we just had internal liquidity breaking up above this high. That could be a failure when we head down. Now, if it's going to be a failure, I've discussed that we got to but we got to get a 2 down week. We're on Tuesday right now, so there's still time to do it compared to if this was like Thursday or Friday. But if we start down today below the pre-market lows, and we have this little daily continuation lower for the 3rd day in a row, we have to get below the red line and the yellow line. The red line being kind of the midpoint of this bar. We're still inside of the weekly bar, so that wouldn't be terrible. We could still turn around on Wednesday, like I said. But then all of a sudden, if we hit the yellow line, which turns that monthly chart back to red, then maybe we're seeing the little, I've discussed this in the past, we have an inside bar here on January. A lot of times inside bars on their respective time frames can be failures. So we broke up, tried that. If we get a red bar forming here, for the month and then get to the halfway point of that bar, that could be a whole failure, a breakout here on the monthly chart. So we're still keeping that in mind, although, the trend is still up, and something like this, a little normal pullback, gets you excited if price action leads us higher to kind of get back in line with the trend. So that's the thing. You can't predict it, but you kind of know what to expect. Today, I'm hoping, for the buy side, but we're certainly starting a little bit lower, possibly, by the time the market opens here. So let's just see what happens. As always, price action will lead the way, and we know the key levels, and we know kind of, what if we get kind of a strong opening, what to look for on the upside. If that fails, then be ready maybe to go to the downside. If we get to the downside, we have to see follow through, below this gap here that we're just kind of filling in at the moment towards these levels in order for the downside to be valid. So at least you kind of know what to expect if you get into a trade one way or the other. Let's see what happens today.